Hello and welcome back to the vlog. Today we're talking all about this little boat here. So long story, but we're gonna try to condense it down to like, a 10-minute video. Here we go. Of course, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, whether you're here for boats or Porsches or lifestyle or real estate or whatever, that's what we cover, and that's what we're here for today. So this boat is covered up currently, obviously. No, it's a 1963 Glastron V174 stern drive. So for those of you that are not boat people, a stern drive is where the engine is inside, and then this is like your transmission or your drive for propelling, right? The propeller there, right? Yep, there. Probably should replace that, but that's what makes the boat go. But obviously I/O, so engine, inboard and outboard. I/O, inboard, outboard. So an outboard is a big, freestanding engine by itself, has the engine on the top, the drive on the bottom. Inboard is where the engine is inboard, and then it has a propeller that comes down beneath you get what I'm saying. Anyway, this boat was, that exact boat was actually a gift for my great grandmother. That's right, for her 55th birthday, her husband, my great grandfather, gave her this exact boat, and it's been a family heirloom slash project slash labor of love slash, we grew up, my dad grew up in this boat, I grew up in this boat. It has a lot of sentimental value. But anyway, the reason I wanted to share this with you guys today is because we did not have this boat for a period of time, which is heartbreaking, but also makes for a cool story. So if you've been following me on social media for a little while, you may have heard this story, so I apologize if I'm repeating it for you, but I really wanted to go a little more in depth, show a lot more of the pictures and the behind the scenes of like what we did in restoring this boat and kind of its state when we got it back. So anyway, she got it when she was 55. She turned 55 and got it as a gift from my grandfather. And so my great grandmother, my grandmother, my dad, who was her son, and of course me, now here 4 generations, and now my kids, 5, have had many years on this boat. So 1963, Glastron was one of the first manufacturers to create fiberglass boats. Before that it was wooden, and it was metal, a lot of aluminum boats and stuff, but fiberglass was a newer material for boat building, and so that makes it a little more unique, a little more special, I guess, because it was one of the early ones. But anyway, we had the boat from 1963. They got it brand new, and back in, I want to say about 2005, 2006, somewhere in there. Actually, no, it was more like 1997. And there's a lot of cloudiness around this time because I haven't actually documented it. And I really should probably sit down and do that one day. But I was about 18 or 19 years old, so it must have been about 97, 98, 99, somewhere in there, 2000 maybe. That we went over to her house, my grandmother's house, and the boat was gone. The boat had disappeared, and she had a ping pong table down there, and me and a couple of the cousins were playing ping pong, and we go down to play, and the boat's gone. And so I, of course, go running back upstairs, and I'm like, where's the boat? What happened to the boat? Is it getting worked on? Is it being fixed? Like, oh no, I sold it, is what she said. We were devastated. We were absolutely devastated when we found out that she had sold it. And again, this is something that had been handed down generations. Her mom, that was my grandmother. So anyway, fast forward to 2001, 2002, I thought we were never gonna see this boat again. And honestly, it felt that way. I looked at Craigslist, I looked at Boat Trader, I looked at eBay. I was hunting this boat down for 6 years, approximately 6 years, 5 or 6 years. I was looking all over for this boat. And again, I would go to boat yards every once in a while. I'd go to like dealerships, and for those of you that know me very well, I used to work for a boat dealer and then eventually Yamaha, so I was around that world for a little while and was constantly asking around before I got into the industry about how do you find a lost boat. Like, the internet was still fairly new, but eBay and Craigslist were really the only two hyper-local places I could search in Atlanta and in the Southeast for a boat like this. And honestly, I found out a lot of interesting things during the course of that time. Number one, there were not a lot of these boats produced. And once I found out exactly what it was, I found some original manufacturing paperwork or advertisements. It's funny, they put that boat in, not that exact boat, but this boat, this model boat, into a pool in California to advertise it, which I thought was kind of like very YouTube-y, 2017-esque. But anyway, after doing all this research trying to find this boat, I did discover a lot more about Glastron and about fiberglass boats and about how limited the runs on some of these boats were. And so about 5 or 6 years of searching, I finally found one single picture of this boat in a, what I can best describe as a junkyard, basically. There was a self-storage building with a kind of like a self-park area for like boats and ATVs and wave runners and RVs and that type of stuff in the back. And I was on Craigslist and I kept searching, project boat, Glastron, fiberglass boat, old boat, vintage boat, like all these different search terms, right? And I finally, one day, I remember it like it was yesterday. I typed in something like vintage boat, and a picture, a very grainy, terrible flip phone picture popped up, and it was the boat. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is our family boat. And the only reason I knew that was because of this little yellow sticker, but it's a Coast Guard courtesy inspection that was done. So they stuck it on the side of the boat in 1967, I think, some little time after they had purchased it. But as soon as I saw that picture and as soon as I saw that little sticker, I was like, that's our boat. The tongue to the trailer was buried a foot in the dirt. There were 6-foot and 8-foot trees growing in the boat, in the floor of the boat. There were probably 150 to 200 gallons of water sitting in the boat, in the front of the boat, because obviously it was pointed out like this, and it had been rained in. It did not have a drive, the outdrive portion. It had an engine that was completely ripped apart. I think all the pieces were there. I'll never know. We never put that engine back together. We did find another donor boat to put that new engine in that we have now in it. But anyway, all of that to say, it took forever to find this boat. And once we found it, I told everyone in the family, I was like, we got to go get the boat. We got to get it back. We got to surprise my grandmother. We got to give it back to her. We got to fix this thing up. We got to make it look better than brand new. So that's exactly what we did. My brother had a truck at the time. We got his truck and ran up to Beaufort, Georgia, about 30 miles or so from where we are here in Atlanta. And we got the boat back. We purchased it. I think I paid the guy $300 for it, which was way too much. Way too much. I'm sure he thought, this kid's crazy. Because I was like in my early 20s, 23, 24, somewhere in there. So we bought the boat. We brought it back to my aunt and uncle's. They had some property. We could hide it behind this little storage shed that they had. Because we couldn't afford to really work on it. We couldn't afford to fix it. None of us had time. None of us had money to fix it. And it was a tall order to fix this boat and do it right. So fast forward a couple years. I think it was about, what was that, 07, 08 maybe time frame, somewhere in there. We bought the boat back. We've now had it sitting for a couple of years behind this shed. And I start working for a boat dealer here in Georgia. And this boat dealer is really well known. I worked in sales there, and then I went into the service department. And when I started working in the sales department, I brought the boat back up there, stored it there, and then started working on it. We had to replace the floor, we had to replace the transom, we had to replace the engine, we had to replace the outdrive. The only original piece of the boat, there's 3 pieces. You have the deck, which is like the top piece. You have the hull, which is the part that goes in the water. And then the windshield. Literally everything else on that boat is brand new. We did a ton of fiberglass work. We painted it, we repainted it the original color as closely as we could at least, with some brand new paint. We put a clear coat on it, it looks amazing. And I'll try to get, again, more pictures and videos here to share with you guys. But the cables, the drive, the steering wheel, I mean, everything in that boat is brand new. New seats, new flooring, new carpet, everything. So that took us about 4 years to complete. And then in 2009, September of 2009, we got to all live out this moment. I just remembered my wife was pregnant with our daughter. I told you this timeline was going to be so screwed up. 2011, September of 2011, we were able to go to the lake, and we got one of these huge party barges. We had everyone in the family, husbands, wives, kids. I mean, there must have been 30 people on this giant party boat. And we went out to the lake. We took my grandmother and my grandfather, actually, who was divorced from my grandmother at the time, but had also grown up with this boat, towing my dad around the lake as a kid, and then eventually towing us grandkids around the lake. When we were children, that was just the vivid memories, and some of my fondest memories, honestly, of just the whole family together on this boat and camping out and having the boat there and getting up early and going water skiing at 8 and 9 in the morning. Just super vivid. But anyway, we went out to the lake. We had everyone in the family there. They were all on the party barge, and I came around the corner in the newly restored and refurbished boat. And here's what came next. For me, that moment, and thank God it was captured on video, will be such a special reminder that the years of searching and the years of restoring and refurbishing and repainting and all of the literal blood, sweat, and tears that we put into that family boat after years and years and years will just be so special. And to see just utter surprise and elation to be able to give that boat back to her, to have her drive it and re-experience what that boat probably, was to her when she was a little girl, to me was just amazing. So I love sharing this story. I love reminding people, and to me there's so many life lessons in this story, some of which I didn't recognize even when I was going through this whole process. But I've always been interested in restoring things and bringing things back to life, and never really saw the parallels between this and business, and this and life, and this and raising a family. That there are precious moments along the way that we should cherish, and time, quality time that I'll never ever regret having or never wanting to let go. So we gave her the boat back. We stored it back in her house. And we had to get the title for the boat, and we had to get the tag for the trailer, and all of these little, semantics, things that, we didn't have a paper trail of a lot of this stuff. And so it was very difficult and very challenging, even once the thing was done, to get it, legal, to be on the water and to be on the road, to get it back and forth to the lake and stuff. So anyway, we gave it back to her. We have been enjoying this boat now since 2011. My wife was pregnant at the time, and I was like, I think I remember her being on that big party barge, and Sienna wasn't born yet, so that would have been October. The following month, we had our daughter. But again, a lot of the reason I wanted to create this was so that I could have something to go back to and refresh my memory on a lot of this stuff. But I hope you appreciate and enjoyed this story today. We'll do a couple more little things, and we'll definitely take the boat out this summer and early spring here to enjoy some of this beautiful weather. Today it's 56. Believe it or not, in Georgia at least, this is a great time to be boating. You can take a nice little jacket out, have some pants on, you're not getting in the water. It's pretty chilly, as you guys saw at the Polar Plunge there. But this is actually a great time to be on the water, and it's really underrated. So, we can boat like 8-10 months out of the year here, and it's really nice. But anyway, I hope you guys like that story though, and I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Do you guys have a family heirloom, a family treasure that has been passed down for generations. And you know, whether it's something as large physically as a boat, or if it's a piece of jewelry, or a book, or a note, or something that was, you know, super special to you, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments and hear from you on, you know, how does this type of content hit you, but also, you know, what stories can you share with me? Because I'd love to hear. I love these types of stories. I love to hear what people are doing and have even planning legacy. Like, what do you plan to hand down to your kids and grandkids? I think this stuff is super special, and I think we need more sharing like this. So anyway, thank you so much for following in the vlog here, though. If you have not yet subscribed, you've got to subscribe. You've got to hit the subscribe button. You've got to, my water bottle just left. You've got to tap the bell for the notification so you don't miss a single video of everything we got going on the vlog here. Of course, we'll do some more boat stuff here. We got a couple more Porsche drives and events coming up as well, and then a ton of real estate stuff. The market's heating back up again. We got 20 and 15 and 10 offers coming on stuff, and it's back. It's back. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.